Oh my God. If you are watching this, you will see just a big black background behind me. Um, it's actually not a fake background or anything. It is my back garden. It's the same place I'm on my recording now. It's me, and my pagoda, and it's just dark outside. I've got my trusty little heater there because it's a little bit cold, but this is my happy place. I absolutely love it. Anyway, right, today, welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. What we are talking about today is the official announcement of the Self-Storage Mastermind 2025. I don't know how to say it, so I'll sound like a douchebag, but I'm going to try. I get a lot of people asking to consult and 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and obviously selling the course. There's a section in the course where you can buy an hour of my time for 375 quid, but it's been reduced from 750 because that's what I previously sold it for. If I'm honest, I don't. When I get a ding and people have bought the course and they've signed up for an hour, it's not it's not worth my time. And I'll tell you for why it's not worth my time. If I find one site, like you guys know that I'm going to be doing this turnkey solutions. Now, at the minute, so that basically means we find the site, we do everything for you, and we hand it over to you because I can't possibly fund everything I want to fund. We've got a pipeline of like 12 self-storage facilities that we need to look at, 12 self-storage indoor and outdoor that look good to the face of it. And let's just say 6 of those are credible. Now, if I spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on them, and then we knew that they was credible and I could sell them on to people, I would earn so much more than £750 an hour, £1,000 an hour, or even, I'll give you an example of one that we're opening now in the north of England. I've done my due diligence on that and I found it. It took some time, etc. But for every pound, every hour I'm putting in, I guarantee you the returns will be not straight away, granted, but the returns will be more than that 750 or £1,000 an hour, whatever it is. Because ultimately, I know, like when we found Mansfield, if you look at the hours I put in there and you look at how much Mansfield is going to be worth when we do eventually sell, that the hourly rate is going to be so much more. So my point is that again, I don't want to sound like an absolute douchebag, and I know you don't get all this money up front like you do if you're selling your time, but the point still remains that if I'm selling my time for £750 an hour, then I am never going to grow the business. If I'm doing that 10, 20 hours a week or so whatever, then yeah, it's a great income, but it's still an income. I'm swapping time for money. And if you swap time for money, you can't ever sell that on. Like if I sell, like the business is always I'm growing the business. We're getting money out of the business as well, but it's always going to be worth something for somebody to buy it off us. Where if I'm focused on short-term goals, 100% sell my time for money. 10 hours, £10,000 a week sounds really good, doesn't it? £500,000 a year. Yeah, 10 hours a week, whippity do. But that's it. I can never get more than that. Oh, I can never do more hours. The only way I can get more is if I work more hours. And I need to keep working because if that was my only job, then £500,000 a year, it sounds incredible. It sounds brilliant. Who wouldn't want that? Exactly. But if I wanted to earn more than that, I'd have to put more hours in. And if I stopped working, guess what? I would lose all that income. Where Mansfield, for example, it will be making that site will make £500,000 a year once it's mature, without question. And I don't have to do anything for that. I have to put the work up front to set it up. But after that, that's it. It's done. And even if I sold that for 5 times multiple, that's £2.5 million. And so it doesn't stupidly it doesn't stand to reason to sell my time. But because if I do that, then I want to put in the effort and time and make it worthwhile for everybody to sell my time. And I just can't possibly do that long term. Anyway, shut up talking, Dean. My wife always says that. My problem is that when I say a point, I reiterate it time and time and time again. I go round and round and round and round in circles, and I think that's what I've just done there. But anyway, I do want to help people, but the trouble is I can't. There's no way I can. Everybody says, "Can I 15 minutes, half an hour? Can I buy you a coffee?" That's all amazing. I love it. But the problem is the price of a coffee or the price of lunch or something like that. People say, "I come down and take you out for lunch and stuff." That's lovely, and I love the fact that people actually want to do that for me. But the thing is, I can't get on with my own work then, and the price of lunch is going to cost me more in terms of what I can achieve with that amount of time. But I still want to help people. I still want to make sure that we all thrive. And so I've been asked and asked and asked about the mastermind because obviously you guys know that I spend an ungodly amount of money on masterminds. Last year, I think we topped up to like £98,000 on masterminds and consultants, etc. And that was not money wasted, it was invested. And so people have asked me, why don't you do a mastermind? Why don't we do a mastermind? Why don't we do a mastermind? And so I have listened. I have talked to Dan Bradbury. He's got the biggest, he's the biggest, most well-paid coach in the UK in terms of masterminds and stuff like that. And so he is fantastic at that. And we've designed something that will blow your socks off, because ultimately the bottom line is my job as the mastermind host, if you like, is to make you guys more money. Why would you come to me? Because you're investing money and you're investing time, and depends on where you are in the journey, which is more important to you. But I don't take either of them lightly. So if you are investing time and money, then you need to see an impact. You need to see results. You need to see an ROI, an ROE. Somebody said to me, return on effort. And ultimately, if your site doesn't make more money, if I don't help you in some way, shape, or form, if I don't have a big impact for you, then the mastermind's failed. And there's no way that's going to fail. So spaces are going to be very limited. It's going to be application only, because obviously in a group, and maybe we have two groups. Maybe we have more advanced group, people who are turning over X amount, and we have more of a beginner group. I don't know how it looks, but ultimately, again, I can't take on more than two groups, because if I do, then it's starting to impact and become an actual job, and I'm not focusing on the real thing, which is ultimately document my journey to a 9-figure exit. I want to exit for £100 million. And if I'm too busy doing the masterminds for short-term wins, i.e. short-term cash flow helps, because all that money from a mastermind will get injected back into the company to help the growth. But if I'm spending too much time and have too much responsibilities in the mastermind, then like Dan, that's his full-time job, so he doesn't really do much else, which is great because he earns many, many millions every single year. But that's not. I'm trying to build a real company. Not Dan's not building a real company. Nobody told Dan Bradbury I said this. That sounds horrible. Yeah, I'm building a proper business. And not that Dan's not building a proper business, because he's got loads of investments. Oh, shut up, Dane. But it's not something that I want to overstretch myself with. It's almost like a testing ground. So maybe we'll have two different groups. We'll have one for people who are taking that much revenue, and one for people who are maybe just starting up, sort of thing. And everybody else who wants to start a course, wants to start self-storage, they can take the course, and then you progress on the course to a mastermind if you so wish. But ultimately, the focus on the mastermind will be to make you more profitable. If it doesn't make you more profitable, then it's not worth your time, it's not worth your money, it's not worth your effort, and that's the last thing I want. So what I've done here is, like I say, it's application only as well, because ultimately you've got to like me and I've got to like you, and we've both got to have a mutual respect as well for each other. So there will be an application process where I find a bit more about you, etc. And if it's not right now for the mastermind, I'll point you in the direction of where to go and what to do and how you can enhance the business a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to look at the minute in terms of the qualifying criteria, but it does have to be on an application process. And obviously, I'll tell you the price before you apply and all that lot, so you know what you're getting in for. And by the way, this year, so I've given myself 1 year to decide if I like it or not, because Dan said to me that it's so fulfilling. People don't know, by the way, Dan Bradbury, I have loads and loads of different coaches, but Dan, without offending every other coach, is a numero one because of what he's done, achieved, marketing, etc. He just there's very excuse me, I've still got my cold. Oh, excuse me. There's very few things in business that he hasn't been and seen and done and achieved. And also, he's got like a little black book of any problem we've got. He can then ring the certain person, whether it be solicitor, whoever it may be, and sort the problem out. So yeah, he's been my number one. And he's been the effervescent, if you like. He's been the person ever there. And in terms of self-storage, that's what we are as well. If someone's got a problem in storage, then if I can't help you, then my little black book of contacts, there must be somebody there who can help you and assist you. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, in terms of 2025, then I've committed to doing it for a year. And so there's going to be a massive discount in the first year for people. And if we decide to do, if you guys like me and I like you, then obviously 2026 will be different and it'll be charged accordingly. Like you, like you won't like me and I won't like you. But I mean, the time it takes and stuff. If it's a good fit, then we'll continue to do it. Like Dan said, though, it's so fulfilling when people. It's more than money when somebody gets a good result. And he said that because he genuinely cares, I genuinely care about the outcome. And when that happens, then it's a really good fit. Anyway, let's crack on. So basically, what we'll get together every single month. On a monthly basis via Zoom. So we'll get a Zoom day. And then, by the way, if it takes more days, that's absolutely fine. We can do one, we can do two, but you basically will present. And by the way, before you come to the event, before you come to the Zoom, you will get a detailed monthly report to fill out. So I will ask you certain questions and you will have to fill it in as a presentation to present to me and the other people in your mastermind group. And don't worry, we will make sure there's an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, signed by everybody in that group. That doesn't happen in Dan's group, but self-storage is a little bit more of an intimate relationship. And so therefore, if we're sharing figures, then we've got to trust each other inside that group as well. Not that people wouldn't do, but yeah, just for anybody's concern, then we're going to do that. So you will fill in and you will present. This is where, by the way, I get most value with for Dan's mastermind. Going through the figures, him almost like guiding me down what's the correct things that we should be looking for, what's important, what's not, and then looking at it and thinking, oh yeah, this isn't so good. Look at the goals we set last quarter, and then look at the goals we're hitting now. We're not doing it. So it is so fulfilling, is that it takes a bit of time to fill in, but it's really, really worth it. And that is when you take the aerial view of your business, because so many of us are in the weeds every single day. And when we're in the weeds, we're not really getting to grips with our business. We're not really looking at our business from a high level point of view. And this is all about high level thinking. So what we'll do is we'll ask you to fill out in that form, and then you will present your monthly results. You'll talk through your concerns if you have any. You'll celebrate your wins if you have any, and then importantly, you'll plan out next month's goals, because we need our goals. If we don't have goals, if we don't have dreams, if we don't have aspirations, where we want to be, any targets, then guess what? We don't know if the next month's been successful or not. Obviously, you'll get individual feedback and coaching from me as well. And then every single quarter, we'll have a 1-day in-person meetup. Again, it might be more than 1 day if we need to. It depends how many people in the group. I'm thinking a maximum of 8 people. And I normally feel like that a presentation would normally last an hour. And by the way, it's not you presenting for an hour, it's just you talking through your figures, and then I'll be asking questions. Other people in the group can ask questions, and collectively, we'll all get a better understanding of your business, and you will get a better understanding of your business, and you'll have a clear pathway to success as well. So once a quarter, we'll meet up in person. It will be at a swanky hotel where obviously I'll be paying for it. It'll be a central location for the ease for everyone to get there. We'll go through in that meeting, that quarterly meeting. We'll go obviously through your monthly results, but we'll also, more importantly, we'll go through your quarterly results, because monthly results, there's not many long-term decisions that get made on monthly results, but there is some long-term decisions that can be made on quarterly results. If its trajectory is heading downwards for your conversions, why is that? Let's have a look. Let's deep dive, and you'll have my guided eye and feedback going through every aspect of your business. And it would be like it would be my business. How would I increase revenue, decrease expenses, and increase net profit? What would I do given your situation? How would I go about that? And so you would have a detailed plan from myself for the next quarter as well. But what I also want you to do is fill out the form before you got there. And we want to plan out what's your big rocks. There's a great book that talks about rocks. You've got to plan out your rocks first of all. What is important for you? What are the rocks? And everything filters down around these rocks. What are the rocks of the quarter? What is? I'm trying to think of a book. I've only just read it as well. I can't. Anyway, I've forgotten the book. Stupid me. So what's important for the quarter, and how? Not only that, but how are you going to get there? Okay, so you want to increase more revenue. You want to increase occupancy. All right. Okay. How do we do that? What's on your mind? What do we do? We need a path. We need to plan how we get to that next level for you. The beauty I put here, the beauty about a mastermind is a collective genius, the collective knowledge of the group. It's not just for knowledge that I can give you, it's a knowledge that everybody else in the group, because somebody might see something different from me, and somebody might disagree with me. You might disagree with me. The amount of arguments, not arguments as such, but I've been in these masterminds where people have damn right disagreed with Dan, and that's absolutely fine. That's how we get to the best decision, but you do it respectfully. We respectfully challenge each other's assumptions. I might not be right all the time. You might not be right all the time. Dan might not be right all the time. But if we talk about it, if we respect the process and respect each other's opinions, we will get to a collective decision that is best for you and your business, you and your company. And so I'm super excited about this. Absolutely. Even in the school community, people have been putting things that I necessarily wouldn't have agreed with. And then when I thought about it, I thought, oh yeah, they've got a point here actually. So what we've all got to be doing in the whole in life is just be open to feedback, open to being wrong. Somebody needs to tell my wife that. I'm thinking, is she anywhere near? No, she's not. We're okay. We're good. We're golden. So to be part of this mastermind, it is an application basis only. But I said, don't worry, applications will open early December. Obviously, I'll be telling you more about that. Spaces will be limited. An NDA, non-disclosure agreement, will need to be signed by all applicants. And ultimately, I want us to be a real close-knit group where we share things with each other. We can have a WhatsApp group, and we can share our concerns, we can share our wins, and we're together. We're going through this together. And once I know where you want to go, then it's easier to plot a path out. If you don't know where you want to be, then how on earth can we get there? So that'll be one of the questions, by the way, in the what application process. Where do you want to be? What is success? What does success look like to you? Because if we're aligned, then I can certainly help you. If we're not aligned, if you're like, well, I'm happy the way things are going now. Well, then, well, due respect, I think that's great, but you don't need to be in a mastermind. You don't need to spend 50, 60 grand. I'm joking. You don't need to spend any money in the mastermind because you're good. You don't need any more. You're happy being plodding along. And I don't mean plodding along disrespectfully at all. I envy people who are happy where they are, because then they don't have to do stupid things and continue to take stupid risks and sign personal guarantees and all that lot that I do. And by the way, I'm not saying you've got to sign personal guarantees and take stupid risks to be in the mastermind, not at all. And by the way, if you've got a bigger self-storage business than me, you are more than welcome to be in there. It doesn't mean because I've got a bigger self-storage business than you or you have than me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that I know more than you know more than me. Somebody with one site could have a greater insight than me. Somebody with 10 sites could have less of an insight than somebody with one site. So it doesn't really matter. Anyway, my friends, can't wait to get this underway, because I feel like this will be excuse me, I've been talking for too long. All right, I'm going. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you later on. Bye bye.